Now that you know how to use brightness and contrast, I'm going to show you how you can make this very underexposed image look much better. So now that you know how to use brightness and contrast, I'm going to show you how you can quickly save this very underexposed image. Now remember, if you come up to image adjustments and brightness and contrast and you make this brighter, make a little more, adjust the contrast. This is destructive. As soon as I click OK and walk away from this and save it, you can never undo it. It throws away those pixels. That's called destructive editing. I'm gonna click cancel. Anything in this image adjustments area is destructive. Means once you apply it, you can never tweak it, change it. It's applied forever. It's like you've baked it in. However, all these things, or at least most of them, are right over here in the adjustments tab. If you don't see yours, which you should, especially if you go to Window, Workspace, and choose Essentials. Later in this course, I'll show you how to customize your workspace so you can have my awesome workspace. But with Essentials, you should have adjustments. If you don't, just put a check mark beside it and it'll pop up. Okay, so in the adjustments, grab the brightness and adjustment layer. Click it. It adds it as a layer on top of the background. My mask is most selected, but notice I still have the properties of the brightness and contrast. So watch, I'm gonna just bring up that brightness, lower the contrast, and then I can add a second one if it's not enough. Do it again, and it will duplicate, but to a very fine degree. So now I can make it brighter, but now I'm starting to get a little bit too contrasty. The highlight details are blowing out. So you see how you can very quickly make an edit to make your image a little bit more exciting. But I'm gonna show you something even cooler. Command minus, just a touch. Let's vignette this a bit. So hit B for the brush tool. Make sure you're painting with black. And we need this mode to be at normal, at 100%. Right bracket key to make that brush super big. Now watch this. I'm just gonna paint around the edges because it'd be nice and soft, right? Because I have a 0% hardness brush. Because I want to really focus on the person there in the middle. And then if you go a little too hard or too heavy, you can click that mask and you can feather what you just did and you can lower the density of what you just did. And look, now we have an image that started here and ended here. Command 0 to fit in screen. I'm holding the Alt or Option key and clicking on that base eyeball. So we started here, too dark. And look at the correction that we made that quick. You're ready to save and output this. But as always, things can always be cropped better. So practice your cropping. Click crop, just leave it on regular ratio. And what will we do? Maybe come in a touch, maybe go for a really vertical look. Maybe I want a little bit of that height, but not all of it. Put her face at rule of thirds for a little bit of interest. That's what you should do in your project. Just save it and we'll come back to it later to resize it. Okay, the next image. Fix the brightness and contrast. Well, we know what to do. Grab the brightness and contrast adjustment layer. Look at that histogram. It's missing black tones, white tones, light tones. Drag the white slider to the base of the mountain and drag the black slider to the base of the mountain. We're gonna need to recalibrate that mid-tone slider a lot just because it's a night shot to open that up. And look at that, that already looks so much better. But remember, our eye is gonna go to the brightest part of an image or the most sharply focused. And for me, my eye's coming up here. So I wanna pull that down a touch. So there's a couple things I wanna do. First, I'm going to select this background layer and I'm just going to go to hue and saturation and pull my saturation up just to make it a little more saturated, because why not? So once you've completed that, let's crop it. I'm going to get rid of that bright area in the upper left, make it sort of a square, click enter. And now let's just, because we can, let's make it even more dramatic. Command Option Shift letter E pushes everything to the top. Command J duplicates it, and just play a bit with the blend modes. Do I want to make it darker? Make it lighter? Do I want to make it with more contrast? I think I like the more contrast, at least in parts of it. Yeah, I'll hit soft light and I'll turn it off and on. So I like a lot of this, but I feel like maybe it got a little too dark right in here. So just add a layer mask, B for brush, left bracket key for a smaller brush. Remember, gotta have black in the foreground if you're painting on a white mask. And I probably only want to paint 50%, somewhere around there. And I'm just going to pass in the middle, pass in the middle. You see, I just painted a little bit. White conceals and black reveals. So essentially, I'm revealing 48% of this image. So I get a little bit of that overlay around the edges, which saturates the colors and increases contrast, makes it more exciting. That's what I want you to do. Save it out. Bang, bang, baby. It's a new day. Hey, if you like this video and it helped, you can help me. Smack it, whack it, and crack-a-lack it. Take care. I like subscribers.
That's awesome. Whoa. Yes! Oh my God, I did. This is
Hey, you stayed to the end. You know what that means? You're awesome. I'm talking about you. Now get out of here.